Hi guys, I have your lesson for the week. So you did your portrait and then you did your profile, which is the side view. Now we're going to talk about the whole body. And we're going to learn a little bit about the proportions of how big someone should be when you draw them. So I want you to have some paper. It can be, just copy paper. It can be notebook paper, it doesn't matter. You don't need your nice art paper if you have any for this. But I want you to hold it the portrait way. Okay, so that's like the tall way. And the first thing I'm gonna have you do is to draw a head shape. Notice it's not very big. It's less than the size of my pinky. Okay, so draw one ovalish head shape. Don't worry about making it perfect. Okay, I want you to skip a tiny bit. That's gonna represent the neck. Okay, that tiny little bit. And then go ahead and draw your second oval. Okay, and then the third oval is going to touch that second oval. Okay, so notice each of the heads are about the same length. So what we're trying to do is actually we're going to go down and your person is going to be 8 heads tall. That's what a normal average is for the height of a person and the proportions. So after you do that though, I'm going to have you do a weird thing here using the same basic size for the head shape. I want you to go ahead and at the top of that second circle, I want you to do 2 heads, but do them horizontal. Okay. After you do that one, I'm going to have you go ahead and put that 4th one down. And this is what will be a little bit tricky. In this 4th one down, I want you to go ahead and draw me 2 more that like intersect in the middle of that one. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, it's 4 heads tall. So this is the pelvic, the hip area here. Okay, now we're gonna start to get the height of the legs. So we go 2 more down from that hip area. And then we're actually going to do another 2. So there's 4 below that hip area. Okay. So now you're wondering, well, what do I do with this? Okay. How does this help me? Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start joining everything, so it kind of gives you an idea, and you can turn it into female or male, it doesn't matter. So now I kind of added a neck. I'm using a pen now so I can tell my pen marks different from my pencil marks. Okay, and still I think my guy is gonna be male. So now I kind of added where his waist is starting to come into that hip area. I gave him some muscle arms there. Haven't added the hands yet. Okay. And depending on male or female, how wide your hips get and that kind of thing. Your legs. Right now my guy's standing with his legs together, but you can see how the hips come out a little bit. I'm gonna let the calves come out a little bit there. And then I end where the feet would be. And then that gives you the correct proportions. Okay, making the size relationship of the head to the torso to the legs all the same relation to each other. So you don't have like a huge head and a tiny body. Okay, so each person, if they're an adult, is approximately 8.5 heads tall. Okay, if you're a child, it's going to be less than that. If you're a baby, it's going to be a lot less than that, because you've probably seen babies before. Their heads look really big compared to the rest of their body. So if they're like babies, it's kind of 3 to 4 heads tall. Like 1 to 2 years, up to 5 years old, you will get up to 5 heads tall. Okay, so I wanted you to make this. Okay, now we're going to do another technique, and this is for gesture drawing. So what we're going to do is learn 3 ways to gesture draw. And gesture drawing is like getting a quick action of what someone is posing as. So an artist might, like if they want to draw people in a crowd or more natural setting, they might go out to the park, have a sit on a bench with their paper, and they will just observe people and get a quick sketch of how they're standing and that kind of thing. So I'm going to show you 3 different ways to sketch quickly. Okay, so it's gesture drawing is the laying in of the action of a pose. So the first one we're going to do is stick figure. Okay, and I see that my paper is backwards, but I think you know how to spell the word stick. So what we're going to do with stick, let's say I have my model over there. If you have a brother or sister, somebody in your house, you can stare at them and they don't even know you're staring at them, okay? But I want you to look at them more than you look at your paper. Okay, so stick drawing, you're gonna, let's pretend I'm looking at someone. I'm looking at the way, I have something on my computer over here, that they're standing, and drawing their weight in their hips and their pose. Remember to pay attention to who you're drawing more than you're drawing itself. So the sticks in the stick drawing are supposed to resemble someone's bones. Okay, so this would be actually the easiest way to draw. Okay, so you have your hips, your pelvis, your shoulders, your neck. Okay, we don't need to know who it is. You don't have to draw a face or anything. You're drawing the action or pose that they're at. The next one is my favorite one because I use this one the most for drawing. This is the word sausage. I can tell that it's backwards. S-A-U-S-A-G-E. Okay, so if I'm looking at the person I'm drawing, okay, now instead of representing the bones, you're representing like the major muscle groups. And you can quickly figure out their pose by drawing these shapes that kind of look like hot dogs. So that is sausage drawing. So find someone in the house and stare at them for a few minutes. Just creep them out. You know, they won't know that you're doing it for art class. Okay, so it's like major muscle groups. This one's my favorite because once you have that pose, then it's super easy to like put clothes on them. Give them some, I don't know if you see, but starting to draw some pants on them. You can figure out, you know, what the shirt might look like and that kind of thing. Okay, last one. All right, is going to be spiral. A lot of people think it looks like a mummy, looks like a tornado. S-P-I-R-A-L. I know it's backwards on the screen, sorry. I'm not that techy yet. I'm better than I was a few weeks ago. So, I know I have to use the opposite camera thing, but we're just gonna leave it. All right, spiral is basically you're drawing what looks like a 3D spiral, which kind of looks like a tornado. Kind of looks like a mummy. So if I'm looking at my person that I'm drawing, remember, I look at them more than I look at my paper. Okay, because you can't draw something that looks very real if you're not actually looking at the real thing. Okay, you're again kind of doing the main muscle groups. You're just doing them in like a scribble kind of way. So far, this is what I have, and I figure out what they're doing with their legs. And if we did this in class, what I usually do is I usually play some music. I get volunteers to be models, and they'll dance. And then when I stop the music, they have to freeze in that pose, and then we draw it. So it's the same lesson I would do in class, but it'd be a little more exciting if we had all of you and we saw some of your cool dance moves. So that's always a fun, good time. So what I want you to do this week is send me or email me 4 pictures. Okay, you're going to email me a picture of your 8 heads tall person, your stick person, your sausage person, and your spiral person. And then I will credit you on Power School for that. Thank you guys. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty well. So we have our hard moments too. I have 3 kids in the house, so that can be interesting and not interesting at times. But I miss you guys, and I hope for the best for everyone. See ya.